The war room on Krextal Prime was built to scare people. The ceiling stretched up into darkness. Sharp metal walls reflected the cold blue light from floating screens. Around a massive table sat the leaders of the Hegemony Empire. They had conquered 47 star systems. Today, they would choose number 48. Admiral Vexra stood at the head of the table. Her gray skin was marked with battle scars. Her forearms moved as she talked. Each gesture showed her power. She had never lost a battle. She had never shown mercy. The next target is simple, Vexra said. Her voice was like ice breaking. A small planet called Earth. Third planet from a yellow star. The species calls itself human. She touched a control. A hologram of Earth appeared above the table. The blue and green planet looked peaceful. It looked weak. Commander Zorak leaned forward. He was the intelligence officer. His job was to study their enemies before they attacked. "What do we know about these humans?" he asked. Vexra smiled. It was not a kind smile. "They are primitive. They have some space stations. A few small ships. No unified military. No real weapons. They fight each other more than they work together." The other commanders nodded. This sounded easy. Too easy. "Their technology is basic," Vexra continued. "Chemical rockets, simple energy weapons. They barely left their home planet 50 years ago. They should surrender quickly when they see our fleet." General Cross banged his fist on the table. He loved quick victories. "How many ships should we send? 100? 200? 50 should be enough," Vexra said. "Maybe less. This will be over in one day." The room filled with agreement. Some commanders laughed. Some planned what they would take from Earth. The Hegemony always took everything. Resources, technology, people to work as slaves. Planets became empty shells when they were done. Zorak looked worried. "Admiral, I studied their broadcasts. These humans are strange. They tell stories about war. They make movies about fighting. They seem to enjoy conflict. All primitive species fight," Vexra said. "It does not matter. They fight with sticks and stones. We fight with plasma cannons and reality bombs." She marked Earth with a red symbol, the harvest mark. Every species in the galaxy knew what it meant. Total defeat, complete control, the end of freedom. "We attack in 3 days," Vexra announced. "Standard procedure. Jump in fast. Destroy their space stations. Demand surrender. Take everything." The meeting ended. Commanders left to prepare their ships. Soon, 50 Hegemony warships would jump to Earth. The humans would never know what hit them. 2 days passed. The fleet was ready. Weapons were charged. Soldiers were prepared. Vexra stood on the bridge of her flagship. Through the windows, she could see the other ships. Each one could destroy a city. Together, they could crack a planet. "Admiral," the communications officer said, "we are ready to jump." "Begin the attack," Vexra ordered. The ships started to charge their jump drives. Energy built up. Space began to bend. In 30 seconds, they would appear at Earth. The humans would have no warning. Then something strange happened. "Admiral," the communications officer said. His voice sounded confused. "We are getting a transmission." "From where?" Vexra asked. "From Earth." This was wrong. Earth should not know they were coming. The Hegemony used special technology to hide their approach. No primitive species had ever detected them before a surprise attack. "What does the message say?" Vexra demanded. The officer looked at his screen. His face went pale. "It is just coordinates, Admiral. And 4 words." "What words?" The officer's voice shook as he read them. "Remember what we did." The bridge went silent. Every officer stared at the screen. The coordinates pointed to a dead star system. A place where nothing lived. A place that scared even the hegemony. Admiral, Zorak said quietly. Vexra felt ice in her blood. Every military officer in the galaxy knew about Xerion Prime. It had been a beautiful system once. 7 planets. Billions of living beings. Now it was nothing but floating rocks and radiation. The Devourers had done that. The Devourers had been unstoppable. They had conquered half the galaxy before they reached Xerion Prime. Then, something happened. Something impossible. The entire Devourer fleet vanished. Every ship, every soldier, gone in minutes. No one knew how. No one wanted to know. Cancel the jump, Vexra ordered. Admiral? The pilot asked. We are ready to attack. I said cancel it, Vexra shouted. The ships powered down their jump drives. The attack on Earth stopped before it began. Vexra stared at the message from Earth. 4 simple words that changed everything. Remember what we did. As if the humans knew something. As if they had been there. But that was impossible. The Xerion event happened 200 years ago. Humans barely had space travel then. They could not have been involved. Could they? Zorak, Vexra said. I want a full investigation. Find out everything about these humans. Find out what happened at Xerion Prime. Find out why they sent this message. Yes, Admiral, Zorak said. How long do I have? Vexra looked at the peaceful blue planet on her screen. Earth hung in space like a jewel. Beautiful. So why was she afraid? Take as long as you need, she said. We do not attack until we understand. The great hegemony fleet stayed where it was. For the first time in their history, they hesitated. For the first time, they were not sure they would win. And somewhere in the darkness of space, Earth waited. Commander Zorak had not slept in 2 days. His office was filled with screens, showing human data. Pictures of their cities, records of their history, videos of their wars. The more he learned, the more worried he became. Admiral Vexra entered without knocking. She never knocked. What have you found? She demanded. Zorak pointed to a screen showing Earth. The humans are not what they seem. Admiral. Nothing about them makes sense. Explain. Zorak pulled up a map of human space. Red dots showed their colonies and stations. Look at this. They have exactly 47 space stations. No more, no less. So, we have conquered 47 star systems. 1 station for each system we took. That could be coincidence. Zorak touched another control. But this is not. The screen showed detailed scans of human technology. Ships that looked simple on the outside. Stations that seemed basic and weak. But the energy readings were wrong. Their reactors are too powerful, Zorak said. A simple research station does not need that much energy. A basic mining ship does not need shields that strong. Vexera stepped closer to the screen. What are you saying? I am saying they are hiding something. Their technology looks primitive. But the energy signatures match advanced civilizations. Maybe more advanced than us. This was not possible. The hegemony had the best technology in the galaxy. They had stolen it from dozens of conquered species. Nothing could be more advanced. Show me more, Vexra ordered. Zorak pulled up human military records. They fight each other often. But look at how they fight. Perfect tactics. No wasted moves. Every battle ends quickly and cleanly. They are just good soldiers. No, Admiral. They are too good. Their casualty rates are impossible. They win battles they should lose. They save civilians they should abandon. They show mercy to enemies who would kill them. Vexra studied the records. Human soldiers did strange things. They risked their lives for people they did not know. They shared food with hungry enemies. They protected the weak even when it cost them victory. This behavior does not make sense for a warrior species, she said. Unless they are not worried about losing, Zorak replied. Unless they know, they can always win, if they need to. He opened another file. This one made Vexra's blood go cold. I traced the message they sent us. The coordinates for Xerion Prime. Admiral, that message came from a human station called Sanctuary 7. What is special about this station? Zorak's hands shook as he answered. Sanctuary 7 has been there for exactly 200 years. Since right after the Xerion event. Zorak's Sanctuary 7. The room went quiet. 200 years was exactly when the Devourers had disappeared, when an entire star system had been turned to dust. When the greatest military force in galactic history had vanished without a trace. That still proves nothing, Vexra said, but her voice was not as confident as before. There is more. Zorak opened the final file. I found archived footage from the Xerion battle. Very old. Very hidden. The hegemony intelligence saved it, but marked it classified. Show me. The screen flickered. Then it showed something that should have been impossible. Ships, thousands of them. Dark shapes moving through space like death itself. These were the Devourers. The species that had conquered half the galaxy. The monsters that ate entire worlds. But they were running. The great Devourer fleet was in full retreat. Ships scattered in every direction. Some were already damaged. Others were exploding as they tried to escape. What are they running from? Vexra asked. Watch, Zorak said. The camera turned. In the distance, near Xerion Prime, were other ships. Smaller ships. Ships that looked familiar. Human ships. No. Vexra whispered. This is not possible. But the evidence was right there. Human vessels moving in perfect formation. No panic. No fear. Just cold, deadly precision as they hunted the fleeing Devourers. The recording ended when something bright flashed across the screen. When it cleared, everything was gone. The Devourers, the humans, even the planets. How? Vexra asked. How did they do this? I do not know, Zorak admitted. But Admiral, I think we need to be very careful. The humans have been watching us. They knew we were coming before we decided to come. They know about our conquests. And they remember Xerion Prime. Vexra stared at the empty screen. The hegemony had built their empire on fear. They attacked weak species and took what they wanted. No one had ever stopped them. Let's empty. When Nick stopped, but the Devourers had been stronger than the hegemony. Much stronger. And the humans had destroyed them completely. Contact the fleet, she ordered. Tell them to maintain position. No one approaches Earth without my direct order. Yes, Admiral. As Zorak reached for the communications panel, another alert sounded. A new message was coming in. From Earth again. This time it was not just coordinates and 4 words. This time it was a countdown. 72 hours. 71 hours and 59 minutes. 71 hours and 58 minutes. The numbers kept falling. Admiral, Zorak said quietly, what happens when it reaches 0? Vexra looked at the countdown. She thought about the Devourers. She thought about Xerion Prime. She thought about 47 space stations watching 47 conquered star systems. I do not know, she said. But I think we are about to find out. The countdown continued. And somewhere in the darkness of space, Earth waited patiently for time to run out. The countdown had reached 50 hours when everything changed. Admiral Vexra stood in the intelligence center watching dozens of screens. Each one showed a different human station. Each station was doing the same thing. Waiting. Watching. Ready. Admiral. Zorak called out. His voice was tight with fear. I found something else in the Xerion archives. What now? Vexra asked. She was tired of bad news. Full battle recording. The complete file. The main screen flickered to life. This time the recording was clear. Perfect quality. It showed the Xerion system as it had been 200 years ago. 7 beautiful planets. Space stations everywhere. Millions of ships moving in peaceful patterns. Then the Devourers arrived. The invasion force was massive. More ships than Vexra had ever seen in one place. They moved like a black cloud across space. Wherever they went, destruction followed. The Devourers had 10,000 ships, Zorak said. Each one bigger than our largest battleship. Each one armed with planet-killer weapons. On screen, the Devourer fleet spread out through the system. They attacked everything. Stations exploded. Ships were torn apart. Entire planets burned. But then, something strange happened. Some ships started to retreat. Not the Devourers. Other ships. Smaller vessels that looked almost primitive compared to the massive alien warships. Are those human ships? Vexra asked. Yes. But watch what they do. The human ships did not run in panic. They moved in perfect formation, leading the Devourers deeper into the system, drawing them toward Xerion Prime itself. They are using themselves as bait, Vexra realized. The Devourers took the bait. Their massive fleet followed the retreating humans. They thought they were chasing a beaten enemy. They thought victory was certain. They were wrong. When the Devourer fleet reached Xerion Prime, everything changed. The planet split open. Not destroyed, not cracked. It opened like a flower. And from inside came something that made Vexra step backward in shock. Weapons. Massive weapons built into the planet itself. Energy cannons the size of mountains. Missile arrays that stretched across continents. Defense systems that turned an entire world into a fortress. Xerion Prime was not a colony, Zorak said quietly. It was a trap. The weapons fired all at once. Beams of pure energy reached across space. Each shot destroyed dozens of Devourer ships. The great invasion fleet started to break apart. But the humans were not done. From hidden positions throughout the system, more ships appeared. Thousands of them. These were not the simple vessels that had led the retreat. These were warships. Real warships. Each one more advanced than anything the hegemony had ever built. The Devourer fleet tried to fight back. Their weapons were powerful. Their ships were strong. But it did not matter. The humans moved like dancers. Every shot hit its target. Every maneuver was perfect. They fought with a skill that seemed impossible. How are they so good? Vexra whispered. Keep watching, Zorak said. The battle was almost over. Most of the Devourer fleet was destroyed. The survivors were trying to escape. Then the humans did something that changed everything. They stopped fighting. The human ships formed a line between the fleeing Devourers and the edge of the system. But they did not fire. They just waited. A single message went out on all frequencies, a human voice speaking in the Devourer language. You came to destroy. You came to conquer. You came to take what was not yours. We could kill you all. But we will not. Leave this galaxy. Never return. If you do, we will not show mercy again. Most of the Devourers took the offer. Their ships jumped away and never came back. But some did not listen. Some turned to attack the humans one last time. That was when Xerion Prime showed its true power. The planet itself moved. Not the weapons on the surface. The entire world shifted position. Space began to bend around it. Reality started to crack. What is that? Vexra asked. I do not know, Zorak admitted. But watch what happens next. The remaining Devourer ships tried to run. But they could not escape what was coming. Space itself was being rewritten. The laws of physics were changing. In seconds, it was over. Every devourer ship was gone, not destroyed, erased, as if they had never existed at all. Then Xerion Prime destroyed itself. The planet collapsed into nothing, taking its weapons with it, taking its secrets with it, leaving only empty space and a warning to the galaxy. Do not threaten humanity. The recording ended. The intelligence center was silent. Admiral, a communications officer called out, "We have another message from Earth." "What does it say?" The officer's voice shook. "The countdown is at 48 hours. But there is more. They are broadcasting on all galactic frequencies now. Everyone can hear them." The message appeared on screen. Simple words, in simple language. To all species of the galaxy. We know about the Hegemony Empire. We know about their conquered worlds. We know about their slaves and their cruelty. We have watched. We have waited. Now we give them one chance. Withdraw from all conquered systems. Free all enslaved peoples. Return to your home worlds. You have 48 hours. Vexra stared at the message. Send a reply. Tell them we are the hegemony. We do not take orders from primitives. Admiral, Zorak said carefully. Maybe we should consider their offer. Never. We are the greatest military power in the galaxy. So were the Devourers, Zorak reminded her. Before Vexra could respond, more messages started coming in. From all over the galaxy, from species the hegemony had conquered, from worlds they had enslaved. The message was spreading. And with it, hope. Admiral, the communications officer said, the conquered worlds are starting to rebel. They think the humans will protect them. Thanks for watching. The humans will protect them. Vexra looked at the countdown. 47 hours and 33 minutes. 47 hours and 32 minutes. 47 hours and 31 minutes. For the first time in her life, Admiral Vexra was afraid. The galaxy was in chaos. In the Hegemony Command Center, Admiral Vexra watched her empire fall apart. Red warning lights flashed on every screen. Rebellion on Altair Prime. Uprising on Centauri 7. Revolution on 43 worlds at once. How bad is it? She asked Commander Cross. Very bad, Admiral. Half our garrison forces are under attack. The other half are asking for emergency reinforcement. Our supply lines are cut. Our communication networks are jammed. Vexra looked at the countdown timer. 26 hours and 17 minutes. It is just one planet, she said. One primitive world. How can they coordinate all this? Admiral, Zorak interrupted from his station. I am getting reports from across the galaxy. Other species are talking. They are sharing stories about humans. What kind of stories? Zorak pulled up the first report. The Altarian Republic. 50 years ago, their sun was dying. Stellar collapse. Nothing could save them. Then, human ships arrived. They fixed the star, saved 8 billion lives, asked for nothing in return. That is impossible. Stellar engineering requires technology we do not have, Zorak finished. More reports came in, each one stranger than the last. The Centauri Federation, Zorak continued. Civil war for 30 years, millions dead. Then one human diplomat arrived. She ended the war in a single day. No one will say how. The Vegan Trade Coalition, plague outbreak. Biological weapon, from an unknown enemy. Human medical teams appeared before anyone even called for help. They had the cure, ready. The Rigel Mining Consortium. Asteroid strike heading for their homeworld. Extinction-level event. Human defense platforms destroyed the asteroid. Platforms that had been hidden in their system for decades. Vexra felt ice in her blood. How long have the humans been watching us? All of us, Admiral. Every species. For centuries. They have been protecting the galaxy without anyone knowing. On the main screen, more messages poured in from conquered worlds. Species the hegemony had enslaved were sharing their own stories. Stories of humans arriving just in time to help. Stories of mysterious aid during dark times. Stories of guardian angels that never asked for thanks. Admiral, the communications officer called out. Message from Earth. Personal transmission for you. Put it through. The screen changed. Instead of the usual text message, a face appeared. Human. Male. Middle-aged with kind eyes and graying hair. He wore a simple uniform, with no military decorations. Admiral Vexra, the human said. His voice was calm and friendly. My name is Captain Min Jun Park. I command Sanctuary 7 Station. I want to talk to you. Vexra had expected threats. Demands. Anger. Instead, this human seemed genuinely concerned. What do you want? She asked. I want to help you understand, Captain Park said. Your empire has done terrible things. Enslaved billions. Destroyed worlds. Caused suffering across the galaxy. But we know you are not evil. You are afraid. The hegemony fears nothing. Captain Park smiled sadly. Everyone fears something, Admiral. You fear being weak. You fear being conquered the way you conquered others. So, you strike first. Take what you need before someone takes it from you. This human saw too much. Understood too much. We have been watching your species for a long time, Park continued. Your people were not always conquerors. Once you were explorers, scientists, artists. The galaxy was better when you created, instead of destroyed. That was before we learned how cruel the universe could be. Yes. We know about the Void Hunters. How they nearly destroyed your homeworld 300 years ago. How that made your people decide to become strong, to never be victims again. Thanks for watching. End quote. Vexra stepped backward. No one knew about the Void Hunters. That was classified history. Ancient shame that the hegemony had buried. How do you? We were there, Park said simply. Human ships fought beside yours. We helped you drive them away. We thought you would remember. Would choose cooperation over conquest. You lie. Park touched something off-screen. New images appeared. Ancient records. Ships fighting together against dark, twisted vessels that hurt to look at. Hegemony and human forces working as allies. We hoped you would find another way. Park continued. We gave you time, space, chances to choose peace, but you chose war instead. Now the galaxy suffers because of that choice. The countdown showed 22 hours. What happens when the timer reaches 0? Vexra asked. Nothing, Park said. If you withdraw your forces and free the enslaved worlds, nothing happens. The timer stops. Everyone goes home. The galaxy heals. And if we refuse? Park's expression did not change. But something in his eyes grew cold. Then we stop asking nicely. You cannot fight the entire hegemony with one planet. Admiral, we are not one planet. We are not even one species anymore. Park gestured to something behind him. Other figures moved into view. Some looked human. Others clearly did not. But they all wore similar uniforms. Earth is just our home. Our real strength is what we built together. Allies. Friends. Protectors who choose peace over power. The transmission ended. But immediately, other messages began. From species Vexra had never heard of. Hidden civilizations. Secret colonies. Advanced races that had stayed hidden for centuries. All of them allies of humanity. Admiral, Zorak said quietly. Our deep space sensors are picking up movement. Ships jumping into hegemony space. Lots of ships. How many? Unknown. Our sensors cannot count them all. But, Admiral, they are not attacking. They are just taking positions around our conquered worlds, protecting the rebellions. Vexra looked at the countdown. 20 hours and 15 minutes. Her empire was surrounded. Her victims were free. Her enemies had revealed themselves to be more numerous and more powerful than she had ever imagined. And they were still giving her a choice. Admiral, Kraz asked quietly, what are your orders? Vexra stared at the screen, showing Earth. Such a small, beautiful world. She had thought it would be easy to conquer. Instead, it might be the planet that conquered her. Without firing a single shot, Admiral Vexra stood alone in her private chamber. The countdown showed 3 hours and 47 minutes. Outside her window, the hegemony fleet waited for orders that would not come. She had made her decision. Open a channel to the fleet, she commanded. All ships, all commanders. The communication system activated. Every hegemony vessel in the galaxy could hear her now. Every soldier, every captain, every conquered world. This is Admiral Vexra, she began. Her voice was steady despite everything. I am ordering the immediate withdrawal of all hegemony forces from occupied systems. Release all prisoners. Free all slaves. Return all stolen resources. We are going home. Silence filled the channel. Then, questions started pouring in. Admiral, are you under attack? Has the flagship been captured? What about our empire? Vexra looked at Earth on her screen. The small blue planet that had changed everything. Our empire was built on fear, she said. On taking from others what we thought we needed. Today I learned something. The strongest people in the galaxy are not the ones who take. They are the ones who protect. The ones who give. The ones who choose mercy when they could choose destruction. She touched a control. The messages from humanity appeared on every screen in the fleet. Stories of protection. Tales of quiet heroism. Evidence of guardians who had watched over the galaxy for centuries. The humans could have destroyed us, Vexra continued. They have the power. But they chose to give us a chance instead. A chance to be better than we were. I am taking that chance. 1. More questions came. Anger. Confusion. Fear. Admiral, Commander Crows asked on a private channel. What about our people? Our homeworld? We built this empire to protect ourselves. And in doing so, we became the thing we feared most. Vexra replied. We became the conquerors. The destroyers. The enemy. She opened the channel to Earth. Captain Park appeared on screen. He looked tired, but hopeful. Captain Park, Vexra said. This is Admiral Vexra of the Hegemony Fleet. We accept your terms. All forces will withdraw within 24 hours. Park smiled. Thank you, Admiral. You are making the right choice. I hope so. But my people will be afraid. Without our empire, without our conquered resources, how will we survive? The same way everyone else does, Park said. By working together, by helping each other, by building instead of destroying. Will you help us? After everything we have done? Park's expression grew serious. Admiral, humanity has one rule. We protect those who cannot protect themselves. And we help those who want to be better. If your people truly want to change, we will be there. The countdown reached 0 and stopped. Across the galaxy, hegemony forces began to withdraw. Ships that had enforced tyranny for decades powered down their weapons and departed. Garrison troops loaded onto transports and left. Prison camps opened their doors. It was not easy. Some hegemony commanders refused the order. They tried to maintain control of their conquered worlds, but they discovered something important. They were alone. The hidden allies of humanity emerged from the shadows. Ships appeared from nowhere. Defense platforms activated after centuries of sleep. The rebels were not fighting alone anymore. Within a week, the last hegemony holdouts surrendered. 3 months later, Admiral Vexra stood on the observation deck of a human space station. Through the windows, she could see her homeworld. Krextal Prime looked different now. Green spaces, where there had been only gray metal. Ships bringing supplies instead of stolen goods. Hope instead of fear. "How do you feel?" Captain Park asked. He had become something like a friend over the past months. "Strange," Vexra admitted. "My people are working on farms instead of building weapons. They are creating art instead of planning invasions. They are happy." I had forgotten what that looked like. "Change is hard," Park said. "But your people are strong. They will find their way. Some of my former officers still hate me for surrendering. They say I was weak." "Were you?" Vexra thought about that. "No. I think surrender was the strongest thing I ever did." They stood in comfortable silence for a while. Then Vexra asked the question that had bothered her for months. "Captain, why did you give us a chance? We had enslaved billions, destroyed worlds. We deserved destruction." Park was quiet for a long time. When he finally spoke, his voice was soft. "Because someone gave us a chance once, long ago, when humanity was young and angry and afraid. Someone could have destroyed us for our mistakes. Instead, they taught us to be better. We are just passing that gift forward." "Who taught you?" Park smiled mysteriously. "That is a story for another time." Outside the window, former hegemony worlds were rebuilding. Species that had been enemies for centuries were working together. Trade ships moved peacefully between systems that had known only war. "What happens now?" Vexra asked. "Now we build something better," Park said. "A galaxy where strength means protection, not conquest. Where different species help each other instead of fighting. Where everyone has a voice. And if new threats appear, other conquerors, other tyrants?" Park's expression grew serious. "Then we will be ready. All of us. Together." As if summoned by his words, alerts sounded throughout the station. Emergency signals from the outer rim. A distress call from an unknown species. "What is it?" Vexra asked. Park was already moving toward the command center. "Something called the Swarm. Never heard of them before. They are attacking the outer territories." Vexra followed him. In the command center, technicians were coordinating with ships across the galaxy. Human vessels. Former hegemony ships. Allies from dozens of species. All moving toward the threat together. "Admiral," Park said, using her old title. "Your people know those star systems better than anyone. Will you help us protect them?" Vexra looked at the tactical display. The same display where she had once planned conquests. Now, she would use it to plan protection. "Yes," she said. "We will help." As the combined fleet jumped toward the new threat, Vexra realized something. She was no longer afraid. Not of being weak. Not of being conquered. Not of the unknown. She was part of something larger now. Something stronger than any empire. She was part of a galaxy that chose to protect instead of destroy. And that was worth fighting for. On Earth, Captain Park's replacement watched the fleet depart. The countdown timer had been replaced with something new. A simple message that would remain there forever. "The galaxy stands together."